Hi, my name's Lauren Zuba and I am the Creative Culinarian. Today I'm going to show you how to make my roasted pineapple Alfredo with Cajun chicken. I came up with this recipe thanks to a competition that Dole was having based on their canned fruits. For full recipe details and more recipes, please go to thecreativeculinarian.blogspot.com. And don't forget to leave me a comment or click like if you enjoy the video. You're going to start by sauteing up some onion and some garlic in a pan with about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. Also, in a separate pan, your chicken is going to be started off with some nonstick cooking spray.
Before seasoning it is strictly because it cooks quicker. And nowadays chicken breasts are so gigantic in the first place that they do take forever to cook when you are cooking them whole if you're not pounding them out. So in this case, every little piece has a little bit of seasoning on it, and it does cook much quicker. As for seasoning on the Cajun chicken, I used just a Weber seasoning. So there's hundreds of different options out there at the grocery store. You can use literally just about any of them. You can also make your own. You can either go online and just search different Cajun options, or you can just come up with your own. Just basically whatever you like best. Once the onions are slightly translucent and starting to get a little bit of color on them is when you want to start adding a couple more ingredients. I'm going to start off with some roasted pineapple. What I did is I took sliced pineapple in a can, sprayed it with a little nonstick cooking spray, and stuck it into my broiler for just a couple of minutes until it got a slight golden color, a slight golden brown color on it. You're just going to let that heat through. This is also where you're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. The salt and pepper will render out a little bit more of the liquid so that when we make a roux, the flour will have some oil to absorb. One of the great things about this recipe is you don't have to use chicken. You have many different options. Shrimp is a great option for this dish, again with Cajun seasoning, or even jerk seasoning. Another option is any white fish like tilapia or cod, haddock, anything like that that's a mild fish that doesn't have a huge fishy flavor. At this point is where you want to add some flour. That's what's going to make our roux. My recipe calls for about 2 tablespoons. Because of how much liquid is absorbed by the vegetables, you might need to adjust that to more or less. You don't want it to be clumps of flour. You want it to all come together and make more of like a paste. You want to let that cook for a minute so that you don't have a flour taste to your pasta sauce, because that's never. So I'm going to add the pineapple juice. The reason why I add this next is because it has the most acid to it out of all of the liquid ingredients. And that's just the pineapple juice that came with the pineapple slices. I strained it and reserved it off to the side just before I roasted my pineapple slices. Now this is where I'm going to add the chicken stock. Now if you would rather use vegetable, you can do that. You can use canned broth. You just need to use whatever is most convenient for you. I like the richness of the chicken broth. In fact, if you don't have it on hand, don't worry about it. Just use the milk and the pineapple juice. At this point, my chicken is done. I'm just going to let it sit over here off to the side to stay warm. This has come back up to a simmer, and we've let it simmer for a couple of minutes. I'm going to add the feta cheese next. Now, I've tried using a couple of other cheeses, and the saltiness that the feta gives just complements all the other flavors so much better than any other cheese that I've tried. And to thin it out, I'm going to add in a little bit of milk. You can also use heavy cream, half and half, whole milk, skim milk, reduced fat milk. It doesn't matter, just whatever you have on hand. I happen to have skim milk in my house, so that's what I'm using. And I'm going to let this come back up to a simmer and reduce down a little bit until we have a nice, thick, and delicious pasta sauce. Delicious. Lastly, to add in a little bit of color, since I don't have any veggies going into this today, I'm just going to put a little bit of dried parsley. And make sure when you're using dried herbs to go ahead and crush them in your fingers a little bit, because that brings out their flavor a little bit. And there you have it, just in time for Nick to get home from work. We have a roasted pineapple Alfredo with Cajun chicken.
Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my video today on roasted pineapple Alfredo with Cajun chicken. For this recipe and more, please feel free to visit my website, thecreativeculinarian.blogspot.com. And don't forget to click like and leave a comment if you have any questions or have any recipes you'd like to see demonstrated. And please subscribe to my channel. That way you can see videos as soon as they're